All right, I just need to get your phone number from the MDT.
Perfect.
Mm.
How long have you been, PD?
Um, Couple months now. I think it's been 6 months.
That's what's up, man.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Could you tell me about yourself in great detail?
Yeah, so obviously my name's Benny Boone. I grew up in Florida, and I decided to move here because when I was growing up, my parents and people around me were very big into criminal activities. And when I say criminal activities, I mean like drugs, murder, robberies, a bunch of stuff like that.
Okay.
And I decided to throw myself away out of that entire thing and basically get myself out of that situation. I wanted to become the person that could change the world and help people get out of criminal activities and help them become working businessmen the right way.
Okay. Sounds good. And why do you want to join law enforcement?
I want to join law enforcement so I can show Los Santos that not every single police officer is a bad police officer, and some of us are just here to help. Another reason why I want to join is to just help out, just help out the community, make sure everything's going good. If I need to, I'll put my foot down, I'll do everything that I'm supposed to do.
Okay. And do you have any LEO experience in previous cities?
I have so I have a little bit of law enforcement experience. Sorry, I was in a city probably 3 months before this city, and it was brand new. So I was promoted to chief of police like almost immediately because they needed someone to be chief. And I basically just sat in the back room watching CCTVs on banks and stuff like that. I know some police call outs, not everything, but I do have a little bit of experience.
And which department do you feel you would thrive in the most?
I feel like personally I would thrive in BCSO the most, so I could help out people in Sandy Shores, Los Santos if I need to, Blaine County. Everywhere that I could go, I feel like that's where I would thrive the most.
Okay. And what is your greatest strength?
My greatest strength is a very big, charismatic, you know, work ethic and stuff like that. When I have a job to do, I'm gonna get the job done. I'm not gonna give up, and I'll do what I have to do every time.
Okay. And what's your greatest weakness?
My greatest weakness. I feel like I can get a little bit angry sometimes if something doesn't go my way. Like if I, lose a criminal in a cop chase by, for an example, I'll get a little bit upset with myself.
Yeah. A lot of people
But
do that.
yeah, I'll get a little bit upset with myself. But other than that, it's not really anything like, people can talk to me how they want, call me names, all this stuff, call me a pig. It doesn't really affect me. It just affects me when I underperform in my job.
Okay. All right. And what sets you apart from other candidates applying?
Ooh, what sets me apart is I have a lot of experience in, you know, just running things and doing things my way. And when I do things my way, it actually works out. I'm not sure if you've met me or know who I am,
733, you
but
good in there?
I am manager at Polito Auto, manager at Ray's Electronics, and manager at Hayes Auto and at Tire Nuts as well. I the only reason why I'm manager on all of them is because Tony Thompson, the owner of Hayes, put me on with a bunch of different people because he saw my work ethic and saw what I was capable of doing. The first day that I flew into the city, I made Tony Thompson over $100,000, and he praised me
What
up and
store was
down
this?
for it. Hayes Auto.
Okay.
He basically told me himself that he hasn't seen somebody make that much money in a long time. So he promoted me to manager the same day, and ever since I've been manager.
We're gonna move on to some scenario questions now. Um, Number one, you're patrolling on your night shift and head to Bean Machine. As you park in the back of Bean Machine, You notice a man sitting in a dark alley. He appears homeless, and you think nothing of it. As you get your coffee and you head back to your car, he yells something, but you can't hear it clearly. You walk towards the alley, where you see him around 40 feet away, holding an object in his hands. It is too dark to make out the object, but you can see it is around the same size as your flashlight. Then he starts charging towards you. In detail, what are your next steps?
In detail, my next steps would possibly be to get somewhere where I know that I would be safe and that I could identify the object without doing anything that could be using my power of becoming PD. I would possibly get, say, on top of my police vehicle, and if he got closer to me, I would call over radio and say I need backup to so and so location, or in this case, Bean Machine. And if I needed to, if he was trying to threaten my life, I would call over radio and explain that I have a scenario to where my life is being threatened, and if I have the good to go to take shots or tase or try to arrest.
You're a cadet on your first ride along. Your field training officer instructs you to always pull to the back right of a vehicle on a traffic stop and approach from the driver's side window. On your second ride along with a different field training officer, you're instructed to pull to the back left of the car and he scolds you for being wrong. What actions do you take?
The actions that I would take was explaining that my first ride along that I took, he always told me to pull over to the right hand side. And since I pulled over to the left, I would say that I'm sorry and that I'll listen more clearly the next time and make sure that the steps that he tells me to do are always correct.
Okay, number three. You're at Legion Square and you see two men in a fist fight. As you pull up to the scene, describe in detail what actions you would take.
If I pulled up to Legion Square and I saw two males in a fist fight, I would try to de-escalate the situation firstly by talking to them one on one, and if I couldn't de-escalate the situation by trying to pull one on one aside to talk to me, I would call for backup and ask for help. And if there wasn't any backup on duty at the moment, I would possibly take matters into my own hands and try and tase the suspect that is that I have the most information on by say who started the fight or anything like that. If they weren't going to listen to me, then I would take even bigger matters into my hand and possibly put one under investigative custody.
You are on a ride along and are in the process of booking a suspect. You are the first person to search the suspect and notice he has $10,000 worth of cash on him. You realize he is not guilty of the crime and release him. As you release him, the suspect notices he now only has $3,000. Your field training officer was the only other person to search him. What actions do you take?
The actions that I would take is taking that to a higher up and explaining the situation further into detail and making sure that I don't leave out a single step. So the higher ups, like chief or commissioner, could speak to the training officer one on one and make sure that he didn't take the money.
What is the function of a watch commander?
Is making sure that the proper procedures are like followed. Is that kind of is that okay?
Sorry, I wrote that down. Yeah, that's all right. All right.
Okay.
On to the next. What is the importance of paralleling a pursuit?
Avoid like injury or just injury.
Next, what is the importance of the primary officer on scene?
Primary officer is the one that determines the prosecuting and um yeah, I'm gonna just say prosecuting. He's the one that makes sure everything is going well in the scene. Why do I have three officers just
Okay.
standing behind me? This kind of
They
freaking me
do
out.
that. They
Okay,
do that.
okay,
Yeah.
kind of freaked me out a
All
little
right.
bit.
Next one. What are the two most important things when determining if you should PBS a vehicle?
You have to have the correct knowledge and skills on when to do it, and you also have to ask the higher up slash chief or commissioner for an 8-minute pit timer. Does that sound okay, guys?
5 minutes.
Oh, five minutes. Five minutes. Sorry, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's what I meant. 5 minutes. Yeah. That's
Oh, it
nice.
might be 8. I don't know. I'm
I
old.
don't. I think it's 8. I think it's 8. I
Then
don't know.
fuck it. Go with 8.
Go
8
ahead.
minute.
What you doing?
I'm going
Yeah.
8.
You're going 8?
I'm
Okay.
going 8 minute.
8 final answer.
Yeah.
All right, next one. What? When are the only 3 times an officer can use lethal force?
Immediate danger, like if a criminal has like a gun or like something like that to an officer's head, or like a hostage situation, but for like a government worker. Um, the next one I'll say is like self defense if somebody's taking shots at, say, me or you or another officer, and I have the right for self defense to take shots back. And another one is if I give the suspect or criminal a like a. Is it okay if I say verbal
Yeah,
warning?
it's
Okay.
how you word it. Yeah.
Okay, if I give them a verbal warning before I can use deadly force. Like if they're doing something very wrong but they're not threatening my life, and I say that I'm going to have to take shots and they don't listen, that's my verbal warning, and then I'll go ahead and take shots.
Okay. Next one. What is an OIS and what must you do after an OIS?
Okay. I think I have this. An OIS is an officer involved shooting, and what I would do after an officer involved shooting is probably collect all the evidence that I can and see if I can determine if the suspect involved in the shooting shot first or if the officer shot first.
What is reasonable suspicion?
Reasonable suspicion. Oh, reasonable suspicion is kind of like a a standard that law enforcement uses to question someone if they have reason that a person or suspect is involved in, like, say, criminal activity or doing something illegal.
What is probable cause?
Probable cause is um a thing that law enforcement can use to make, or to like have a bias to make an arrest, if that makes sense. Like they can have probable cause to get a warrant, um or um say if like I'll say it in an example if that's fine.
That's okay.
If like a driver is drunk or something, and like you can obviously tell if someone's drunk, or say like if someone is selling cocaine on the street, and you literally watch them sell him, or that they're drunk, whatever, doesn't matter situation. And they refuse to tell you that they did it or they didn't do it. If you watched them do it, or you have probable cause to think that they were doing it, you could escalate the situation further and determine if they are drunk by saying, say drunk. You could pull them out of the vehicle, ask them to step out and perform a field sobriety test, or for a drug test, I could possibly get them to step out of the vehicle so I could search the vehicle for drugs. Or if the vehicle doesn't have drugs, I could possibly ask them if they could consent to a search to see if they have any dirty money on them, or
I don't know whether or not I'm supposed to wait for approval, so I asked if I should wait for approval. Um, but if they end up letting you pass, then I'll just set up your roles in the emails.
Perfect.
All
Alrighty, my
right.
man.
So,
I
all right. Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yep. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, Bo Stevens. All right.
Alright, sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Yep. Yep. Have a good day.
You as
Y'all
well.
ready for his first day of preschool?
Maybe.